Welcome to another episode of Jamaican State of Mind podcast. This is your host Nick. We're there with Carter. What going you?
Yes, sir. We are here another time. We get the jitters out on the first one, after so much time away. But here we are, feeling good. Like how the first one went and, build some confidence and we can tweak and turk and,
Yeah, man. So first of all, big up all of the people them where check out the first episode of launch, video episode of launch on YouTube. Big up all the new people them forwarding and discover us. And I mean appreciate it. Like I said, I work on trying to be consistent with it. So we can make it part of a routine at least every other week. That's the goal. If you're lucky enough, we might drop every week, but I want to commit to every other week. So a couple things. If you hear me, people, I'm kind of on at the weather, so but still have to make some time to put this one out there. But so from the feedback was positive from the our episode back. Appreciate it. Couple things we just want to address up front. I did make some. I think when we talk about it, we talk a little bit about the California wildfire and all of that stuff. And I think me I say, we burned again. Palestine burned a couple of years ago, but it was actually paradise. But within the same vicinity, but my thoughts on it still no change. I mean, it's a yin yang thing when it comes to insurance and state government, state write the laws, and insurance have to follow the base and that laws the state instruct. And and if you know anything about American company, if there's too much red tape and shenanigans, that's why they got limit coverage in a state, and that's one of the issue. What's up? All right. Sorry about that, but it's a yin yang thing. You see me I say between state and business, and them have work together. And like I said, the state is held accountable for take care of the people them and mitigate stuff for take care of them citizens. But that's why I want to clear up that. But yeah.
Well, I guess kind of pivoting from that, we can talk about the inauguration, which we did mention in the previous episode, which was on MLK Day. So a lot to be said about his speech or speeches.
Jeff London.
Nicholas is a lot more versed than I am in this year, so I let him take the first go at it.
No, to be honest with you, I didn't really sit down and watch the inauguration. Like I watched some clips of it and like the highlights and stuff. But I'm not gonna waste my time. I sit down and watch all of that. I already don't know what the agenda was. The man never shy away from what him say him gonna do. Right. So a lot of the stuff what the executive action him start with, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's stuff we've been saying. If you pay attention, that's why I always talk about people listen to actual policies and stop make people, give people permission for basically getting turned up and emotional over stuff, and
like where you're
pay
starting.
attention to the actual.
I like where you're starting. So since you start there with the policies, there's a man with no policies. So let's start with the freezing executive order or executive action on the freezing of the hiring for federal employees and his idea of reform. What do you think about that?
But the man did it in his first term. That's what I'm saying. Like the man, the iron freeze, he did it in his first term. You get what I'm saying? That's nothing new. He just basically implement it back. You understand what I'm saying? So that there, you know what I mean? Republican have this concept, as them say, federal government is too big. If it's up to some of them, they would eliminate a lot of the department. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So that is nothing new to me. The more intriguing part thing is the DEI initiative. You know what I mean?
But hold on, sorry, but
Yeah.
when you're saying that intriguing, but there's a little bit more to the freezing and of the hiring of the employee to the
Yeah.
federal government, because also look at it this way, his idea of reform, which is, possibly, of course, maybe laying off or letting go of some of the current administrative, practicing person. I mean, you talk about the nuances and just the frustrations of dealing with sometimes the government agencies. You told me about, was it just registering your water, or manual and
Yeah.
cumbersome it was. A lot of it wasn't online. You had to either physically go or call, and just to get your water turned on. So with
Yeah.
the
But they
attitude
see,
of those government workers who just feel like they can just
them there state and local city people, municipal. So
so
it's
it won't
but
translate to them as well.
no. This is just federal government. So when you talk about federal government, you're talking more like the National Park Service. And crazy enough, him said the only part now get freeze is the military.
So
So
U.S. Postal Service,
U.S.
all of that.
Postal Service, anything run on a federal level.
Yeah, Department of Transportation, right?
So Department of Transport, all of those stuff. Mostly on the local level now. That's a whole nother ball game. And with me, if anybody ever listen to me, I always tell people focus more on local people than necessarily federal. The federal, you have to look on the grand scheme of things when you kind of look who for vote, but the people them who actually affect you day to day, day in and day out, is your local government, your city council, your mayor.
Yep.
You see me I say? Them people, because if you, for example, if if your kids go public school, who you think make decision based on your public school? Them
right.
local people there. If your pitney go if you own a home, property tax, billing, all of these red tape and all of them stuff, yeah. It's the firefighter, police, all of them things are local, not federal. That's why I'm saying people always get caught up on this federal thing, but not actually understand that on a local level, them make the decision will affect you every day. Every day you step out of your door, you could have in your yard, just like when we talk about what happened in California, it's the same thing. It's not necessarily a federal government thing. It's a local government thing. Are them responsible for make sure you have clean drinking water? Are them responsible for make sure the reservoir and them place they full? Are them responsible for hire the budget so them can hire more firefighter to do certain mitigation for help? You get what I'm saying? Them they are local people. No for do it presidential. But every year them get us wild up and emotional about who is the president. And I'm gonna say it doesn't matter. Obviously, it does matter. But if you talk every day life, the federal government really affect them. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
Because we talk about this already on every episode. Like America, people like to compare America to a single country. Like you hear our fellow brethren them from here say, "Yo, Jamaica, this America, that." I mean, I always say, you can't. You more the best place to compare America is Europe, because the European Union is a bunch of different countries basically come together as one. But end of the day, them have them individual thing where them deal with and laws, and it's the same thing. That's why I call it United States.
Right, exactly. I always come back, just look at the definition of the name of the country, United States.
Yeah, man, cause like one state you can run in and just go buy a gun. Like, you're good. You see me? You don't need no. You don't need. Yeah, you don't need no. You don't need no license to carry. You don't need no. You see me? Living especially when you talk about southern state, them pretty lenient. You get what I'm saying when it comes to that. But now if you go some state, you cross the border. Even like a state like say New York now, them gun law very very strict. So even the regular law abiding sitting, I got through be a loophole and it costs so much money that majority of people don't even bother with it. While you say you can just go in a Walmart or an academic goods store and say, yo, give me the Glock 40.
No, it's so crazy. You know, I just say, uh, the first time like going into I just was it outdoor? What do you call it?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's,
Uh,
it's academic. I know what you're talking about. I know it's
the
store, one of
Dick
them.
Sporting Goods, one of them,
Oh, yeah,
right?
well, all of them.
Either
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those. But I just even Walmart, like you were surprised in the first time traveling, but we in the mid 2000s, and this is the rifle, you know, just there for purchase, and you ask, and you know, you wasn't living here at the time, so you ask like, you know, like, okay, you want to buy a rifle, what you need? People say, well, the ID, and you know, they're running back going for like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
you can walk out of Walmart with a rifle, you know. Not saying you
Yeah.
can't buy the ammunition there, but you know,
Yeah,
you
you can
definitely
buy,
can
most of them you can buy everything or some in bulk.
My God.
You see what I say? So some state not even have no restriction, you know. So it varies. So the point of that conversation is just saying that every state, you have the federal law, kind of the top general law of the land, but then every state have their own law, and then also every county, city, and even municipal have their own different jurisdiction and laws and all of that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like for example, marijuana is a thing. Most major metropolitan city, you know, marijuana in a certain ounce is pretty much legal or misdemeanor, or you know, if you have a certain amount, it's recreational. But the thing is, if you move outside the city limit, so if you live in Georgia, Atlanta maybe have a very lenient when it comes to certain amount of marijuana. But if you drive across the 20 and go get in at the outskirt of like Atlanta, it may be a whole different scenario. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So what I'm saying that just keep it. Just America is more comparable to the European Union than say necessarily a one country, because you know every and you know Carter would tell you, let me tell you, you know what I mean, we travel various different states, interact with different people, and I'm telling you everything different, dialect sometimes different. Sometimes I struggle if you understand what people ask me. I say yo. All right, can you speak? So sometimes I get to when people say them not understand patois. Sometimes I talk to some people and say, okay, now me get it. Cause sometimes I talk plain English and boy me I say, yo, me I struggle, me I pay attention, me I look like me can I struggle for hear what them I say.
oh yes,
Because dialect and just things just
of
different, and things with
course.
them call certain things different. You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
for
the pronunciations of everything and based on their um geographic location, you know, that southern slang, and then you talked about the New Orleans Creole.
yeah.
I mean, then them say Chi Town. You know, this
Yeah.
is.
And then like I'm just some stuff like this thing just came to mind. I can't think of anything else, but like I mean, some people working at the insurance. So sometimes, you know, some people have some stuff damaged. Like one thing come to mind is a turbine. A turbine is like a thing you see on most US roof, a kind of spin. You kind of keep the attic kind of ventilated. Not majority, if it's a turbine, 99% of people, you say, oh, you may kind of know that, you know, it's that spinning thing where, you see, like, yeah, the people from South Texas and them, man, I'm a Louisiana, and I said, twirly bird. First time a man said twirly bird for me, I said, what you talking about? Exactly.
Twir-
Exactly. So now I have to pull up a picture of
Twirly
where,
bird.
but I'm just saying, stuff like them they run into, so it's like, you have to
Crazy.
kind of understand, say, everybody slightly, you know, culturally different based
Yeah.
on geographical location. And so sometimes I think politicians, some of our people them who now travel outside of them normal area, them struggle with that, understand. So not because you see things this way. You have a man who live here, so they might see it a completely different. Like you can't, sometimes
Yeah,
you don't even
man.
understand. But when you talk to people, you say, yo, cultural norm is a thing. And you know, we have one more thing more answer, but you know, you can on that.
Yeah, but you know, as I said, this whole point of what we were discussing was just the whole
Executive.
executive order around Trump saying, "Hey, listen, you know, hiring freeze and the federal government, of course, outside of the military thing, but just how will that affect, the motion of our
Ain't affecting
economy
none.
in the first quarter, because I'm going to start the pettiness a little bit, because I'm just saying, hey, just I'm focused
Me
more
tell you
on
what, me tell you
policies
the
that are going to shift some economic
I'm tell you
changes
what,
that will either.
I forgot, but the
Mhm.
one thing, let me just say, okay, people, is like, yeah, I are directly for federal government, but you know what the federal government use a lot of?
Mm.
Technically, hire direct. You get what I
Right.
mean? You will give contracts. So the reason some even care, but that's what I'm saying. That to me is a non really. It just signaling to a
So,
base, but it don't really mean none, because the federal government have the most biggest contract than anything else in this world. Like them, majority of them workforce, them have a contract workforce. So that
mhm.
not nothing to do with hiring freeze. So
So
it's where the
basically,
loophole is. So really, as I'm saying, it's irrelevant.
right. But I was just thinking, like, how will it affect the economy anyway, or for our shape or farm? So I guess there's
No,
no real
it don't affect them.
correlation. All right, okay,
No.
all right.
In
Well,
my opinion, I don't see it affecting them, because
yeah,
you
okay.
know, if any, you know me, I'm like a man in the middle type of guy, where you have stuff that I'm very liberal about, you have stuff that I'm conservative about, and also have a little bit of libertarian skin in me, where I feel like government sometimes is not adequate. Them, like, they're not them so big and cause so much problem, and friend and I are friend and people that sometimes you have a lot of incompetent people in power, and the work not done. Cause sometimes I tell you, if you're one people and have to deal with
I don't know.
local government or anything, I tell you, boy, I tell you, sometimes you want to thump the ear.
Let me tell you. To me,
It's ridiculous.
I have thrown up my hands in the air, and from a very early age, and just give up on the terminology of politics once I truly understood what politics is and what it means and
Mm-hmm.
how it churns and works. And as you say, coming from Jamaica, it's just, you see the two party, right? You had this one independent party, but never really, you know,
Mm. I really do not.
gained any traction or build any momentum to be a competitive force. But
Yeah.
same two party, JLP, PNP come here, Democrats, Republican.
Not a lot of
So
option.
not a lot of options, right? So
Yeah.
to me, and then it's either one or the other, So it's like you take the good with the bad, and just work with whatever best is presented here at that moment in time. But the thing is, the back and forth, it's like the two bridging them just say, you get it that time, yeah, me get it that time, yeah, and we all eat our food. That's how I'm looking at it right now. It's just like,
And that's the way to look at it, because not
it's
much not change.
people, and they would say, oh, vote for the one that speaks to you in terms of your benefit, whether it want to be economical, social, psychological. But the thing is, it really does, unless unless I'm in that, we just said the 10% or the 5% where I'm in some connection with somebody's, I'm in those spaces where I'm helping to facilitate or fund that decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I see. You gonna say that me can truly see me the value of my vote. It's like, oh, Elon, I see the value of vote. That is value. That is ROI, return on your investment.
Investment.
You know what I
And
mean?
yeah,
Directly.
and that can
So,
roll into the next part of that, the DEI
yeah.
initiative, where they get rid of it. And
Hmm.
I have mixed feeling about that personally. So
Okay.
let's look upon it on an objective level, where DEI is a good thing, because it gives let me start off there. The positive.
Hmm.
DEI to me is a good thing in some
Hmm.
sense. Let me say that
Hmm.
to an extent. It's good because you kind of force certain companies and certain business who have that old school mentality, to force them to give, say, a man like you, me, a woman, whatever, a look. And then you might, oh, a person really can't do the job. You get what I'm saying? It kind of force them in that sense. And I support it for that reason, because sometimes decision make with a one-minded group or track sometimes is not the right decision, because you're not getting no objective, no
There's
opinion,
nepotism
no,
and familiarity
yeah, and
rather than
then not that too. It's just like, you're not getting another point of view.
right.
Because sometimes your background, like we grew up in Jamaica, so we see things might be slightly different from somebody who grew up in Alabama or Georgia or New York. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a slightly different, because we might have a different viewpoint, and racially, obviously, the systematic stuff here. So I get it. You see what I say? And if business smart, they might understand you. You need different viewpoint if you want to do launch, especially in the customer service, when you want to launch a good product. And them think that you want a different point of view for challenge ideas.
Right.
Where I draw the line now, when I'm overdo the thing. You see me I say? When like, I'm sorry for bringing back the California, because California them state that I'm kind of annoyed with when them come with this, where I a firefighter based on them gender and them race, but you know, hire them based on their actual ability to do the work. Then to me, that's just nonsense. You see what I say? When California put out a video, when them have a video I saw, when them I say, you know, when you want somebody to come in a building to see if you want them to look like you, I don't give a shit with somebody. If me in trouble, me not care where you look like if you come save me. You get what I'm saying? And when the chief woman I say, oh, when them ask her about if she can bring a man out a burning building, and she gonna say, well, if him in a burning building already, he's the one put himself. It's like, when it comes to certain decision and certain rules, DEI for come out, it's supposed to be strictly merit based. You get what I'm saying? Strictly merit based.
But all of them, all right. So
yeah,
I'm with you on, so diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
What does that mean? And I think a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
times
We gotta explain it maybe to some people don't really
right,
follow that nonsense.
right.
But yeah.
Diversity and inclusion. A lot of focus is, from my experience, even working, in the corporate spaces. I think a lot of time the first time when people hear it, they think color first, but it encompasses so many other factors, right? So you think about age, you think about gender, as you just mentioned, sexuality,
religion,
also nationality. All these different things are considered. And I can say, as I said before, if people focus on the color too much, that doesn't really matter. What is happening, as Nicola said, the pros and the cons. The pros, the reason why DNI was brought into place was because, hey, look at the population. You know what I mean? We can literally see the disparity. African Americans are between 13 to 14%. You have Hispanic in the mid-20s, thereabout, and Caucasian is the majority of the population, right? So if the businesses are majority owned by the majority of race of the population, then sometimes, even when there's qualified folks, they get overlooked because it's just based on familiarity rather than ability.
Yeah.
So that's what that was brought in to do: give the opportunity of a minority to present their abilities, right? So that encompasses education, skills, whatever it may be, right? Businesses, can be able to apply for loans, because we've heard this and it has been proven historically where the minorities don't get the same ability to get loans or interest rates as our counterparts. So that is why DNI was brought in, not to hand a bread or a bone, but it's to give the opportunity to people who have the ability and the funds to, make a better contribution to the American economy. Now, of course, you also mentioned the cons, when they just give somebody a position based on a tick, to mark off a tick on a requirement. Oh, well, we need this amount of females. We need this amount of, what's it called? Educated black males that has earned age. And you just plug and play. You know what I mean?
And
But
at
then,
least now focus on the actual ability
right,
to do the work, just to check a box.
exactly. So, the argument is to get rid of it, but true from all levels, right? The school system, education system,
Mm-hmm.
um, from colleges, and then transfer to the workplace, right? Um, and then the DNI in the education system from a tertiary level was, again, people. The DNI initiative wasn't to give them free scholarship. They still have to provide the grades to qualify for it, but
And
they're going into schools that were not didn't have any minority attending the schools.
yeah,
So you have bright students who are
we now get the
qualified, but they're not
opportunity.
getting into like a MIT or a Harvard just based on the affordability, but
Yeah,
not the ability.
and yeah, and that's a good point. And I said that's what I'm saying. That's where I support it because it give. At the end of the day, if somebody get into yes, because of DI issue reason, and them just get a job, but if them a perform doing the job to the standard, like what's wrong with that? Is it me I say? I don't see an issue with that. Because once them a perform the job. But when you have somebody in a position and we clearly see them can't do the job, but we're afraid because them part of this community or this background. That's the way people, and it's been going so crazy, exam on a one-sided basis that you gotta push certain people the wrong way. End of the day, people like it or not, like we just discussed, there's one set of people are the majority of this country. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like we have to do it where it makes sense. But when we see we clearly when people can see through the BS, I see them clearly make decision based on just who that person is and not actually the merit. And to me, this based on nepotism and all of that. Like when they say somebody get it to him last name such and such or whosoever, that's part of me lump that in it too because sometimes you have people in position to who them name is, who them appearance is, but them actually can't do the job. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? So all of that is the same thing for me. And I think what people don't understand when it gets so crazy over a period of time, because what got me, it go so far left where even people like me where don't really ever care too much about it, I say, yo, come on, man. Come on. You get what I'm saying?
But and then,
right now, it got to, so guess what gonna happen? Natural happen. The force I got push it back to the far right. And we hope that we're gonna get some balance at some point.
and you said it beautifully because again the removal of it's just taking us back into
Yeah. I disagree with the move
it rolled us back probably
Yeah.
2 decades, in where we're trying to bring the brightest minds into the space with different perspective, different ways of thinking into it's like it's like a thinking hub, right?
Yeah.
You bring people from all over the world or different backgrounds all over the different states, and these people have different upbringing, so then bring a different idea and whole way
It's
of
important,
thinking too.
especially in a certain business. You need it. You get what I'm saying?
They can't have everybody that's a thinking a black and white. But
in a life and death scenario, when somebody clearly can't do the job, I don't need no DI, right? So
no.
That need to be strictly merit based. So,
No.
If a woman can do a job and them can lift up a person as a firefighter, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Either, that's part of the job requirement. So if it's something you can physically do, maybe another position within the firefighter, maybe a bit of opportunity. But you know what I mean? Because I'm telling you, we would not give no man the same grace if them can't perform.
No,
it's certain things. So that's where me draw the line when it comes to DEI. Is it me I say? Like, you know what I mean? So if somebody can do the job, I don't care who they are. Do your job.
But again, it was, I would say, it not only gave opportunity, but I believe the initiative encouraged companies to dive in because of the tax incentives or credits that they get. But
not forget about it. Before we get this point, a lot of I just bring out that incentive stuff, bro. I know you've worked for company. I've worked for company who every time I call is DEI. But everybody we are run the DEI stuff, it's not part of the DEI. DEI, to me, DEI sometimes only stop at certain level. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get up to certain suite of the job, but you can stop. You get what I'm saying? So you make a regular manager upon a junior level, yeah, DEI. But wait, warm to the executive level. Warm to the real leadership role. You get what I'm saying? And I've seen that where I've dealt with people who obviously can't do the job. You get what I'm saying? And and it's like, you know, people bring different skills set, and I get it. But some role you need people to actually know for do the thing, so the business don't fail. And I've worked for a company where I see they push that crazy, and I actually see where the business itself fail, where that department fail. You know, when they have 3 layoffs in a year because people just make wrong decision and everybody afraid to speak up. You get what I'm saying? So I've seen it in that capacity where somebody just, you know, where a business just want the record of saying, we win the 2024, 2023 most diversity DEI company of the year. You get what I'm saying? That's more, but not the actual. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my take on it.
But again, you know, you touch on gender, you know, because again, we talked about the different facets of DNI, right? The age, the race, all of this. But a lot of times, gender and age, and it's, I can speak, I'm speaking of it because I see it from the HR side of it where, you know, especially from recruiting, like, you know, you're going over candidates with hiring managers, and sometimes you're looking at the dates of the person's graduation, you know, from high school, or
so people never put their date, all of that on your
you know,
resume for school.
on your college graduation date. So, you know, and looking at dates on your tenure. So to kind of summarize, oh, they might be in their 30s or 50s. So, you know, again, ageism, you know, not based on the person's ability to do the job efficiently, and, you know, and possibly bring up a ton load of experience with it. They're just looking at, and especially as you just said, for the physical roles, right? There's some jobs that have a certain requirement where you have to lift weight, a certain amount of weight, not just to the waist, but above the shoulder, right? And are there assessments? Yes, there's physical assessments, right? So, as you say, although there's an DNI, if it's a male and it comes down to a male and female, and there's a certain weight that the female is not able to lift up over the shoulders by themselves. Keywords by themselves, because it's an individual job. You know, there's times when in certain field roles, you know, women will be out there, but there's a man helping. You know,
so you have a special assist.
How the business thinks is, hey, I could have hired 2 guys and get double the work, but I'm getting a 1.5 because he's always assisting rather than doing. So this is not a sexist thing. This is just how business thinks, because you're thinking from a profitability
just objectively
standpoint.
thinking on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I already said my point, but also I have to look on it as an objective.
Right. Because business, that's what they're there to make a profit. So they're looking at the most efficient way of making the largest profit margin. You just did. You're in a construction field. Some of the hiring managers who can see a man in late 40s, early 50s, him look upon him and say, I don't think this him can keep up with the physical day-to-day. Keyword, I don't think, before even
talking to the person, seeing the person.
Or seeing the person.
Because some people older, but they're more in a more physical shape and all of that.
And sometimes they've seen it out there in the field where the man, the older gentleman, is not only physically in better shape, but he's bringing so much maturity where the job is being done in half the time. You know, because it's already gone through the
you already have the skill set of to do it more efficiently.
You know? Of course.
Yeah. So,
you know, but I guess let's stay upon that,
Yeah. So I think part of the executive action, one of the next, I think we have 2 more things on that we want to talk about. I guess it's what I'm tying together. The Birthright issue with Trump, executive order with Trump signed. And this one I'm very fascinated to see how it going to play out, because it's part of the Constitution. Technically, a president can't really write an executive order to modify the Constitution. what the executive order can do, limit them response to it. And I can guarantee there's 100% chance this will go to the Supreme Court. And for the decision of the Supreme Court, I will give it 60-70% in favor of Trump because it's a conservative court. I'm just interested to see how this will play out. Because it's, obviously both of us are immigrant, right, here. And, fortunately for me, I didn't have to go through the whoopla, all of that. Is the man I say? You see, mother there, she filed for me and all of that thing. But so I didn't have to go through some of the whoopla. But I've known people who here legally have kids and then I wait pin if it turn 18 and suffer 5 for them. Or you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just interested to see what the play out. That's I'm trying to see. To me, it's not gonna be good for America because you may talk about this offline where almost every country right now has suffer from some form of low birth rate, right? And it's low birth rate maybe some good people, but if you have a more larger elder population and the birth rate now keep up to reinforce that workforce, it can be disastrous, very disastrous for the economy. And I think Japan even going through that. People predicting, I think 2030 something, Japan might collapse because they have way more old people than young folks.
Yeah, aging population.
Yeah, and one other thing where America win with, America, some folks in America are struggling with low birth rate. We don't talk about them, but we know. And that's one of them thing about why them are go so hard with abortion, why them are go so hard with immigration, because there's predictions say in the next 20 years or 15-20 years, certain the minority gonna be the majority population. And one of the things, to get back to my point, is one of the things where America don't struggle too much with the birth rate issue is that they have immigration. Immigration been a blessing to America, like it or not. I think we did an episode way back then when we talk about all of the pros where you come when you talk about housing, the free tax where the government get. I think about it. If somebody they illegal, my work and I pay tax, but him not get the benefit of the tax. He can't get so there's a system in place. So I'm very interested. I don't have one way or the other. I'm very interested to see how this is going to play out. Because in my opinion, I don't see it a beneficial move for America.
In terms of in terms of like you don't see any pros for it.
Yeah, because business, in the idea, America is a business. America, they act like they don't like it, boy, but America love that cheap wage. As I say, if there's not an incentive, if you can take away some incentive for people to come here and all of that, it might backfire. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
so we see.
Listen, 18 states, according to the New York Times, have filed lawsuits against the executive action. But as you mentioned, it is against the 14th Amendment, right? That birthright, executive action. So I just say I don't think it's not something that can be just done overnight, right?
Yeah. So that'll be a battle process, but we see how that goes.
But as I'm thinking from how the president is thinking is for when people come to America and have the child, as you said, and then go back home, and then that child gets automatic citizenship. He's thinking it's more of like it's like a business.
That's how them I look at it.
Yeah, it's a business. So people are flying at a certain point in the pregnancy, and there's a middleman making sure, they have the child
full process,
and then child gets the stamp of approval. So as long as
but I'm saying, how them are going to enforce that?
Yeah. So as long as the child keep up that, what do you call it, the immigration regulations of being in the country that period of time.
But I'm saying, what am I going? I'm very interested to see what am I implement that, because we're going to stop people with them come entry immigration for coming. All these people who are enter the country legally from like a plane or something and then stay over on a visa. You gotta stop certain people from
No,
visiting when them are
I
certain.
don't think they're going to do that way. It's just that when the child is born, it just won't be considered. They won't give him
No, that's what I'm
automatic
saying.
citizenship.
Oh, I get it, but also it's kind of hard because some state laws have. I mean, I don't know.
Because
It's
the mother
interesting.
have to, I guess, when the mother have a child now, they might give the hospital more administrative work because when the child born now,
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Oh, you get the information.
yeah, because
Like,
the
I want to
mother
know.
forgot to prove that here
They're
is our
citizen.
passport, our citizenship. That's crazy work.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how, but hey,
But
for them business and them figure it out.
yeah,
But that's
remember
my
we
2
were
cents on it.
talking on the same topic of just the birthright, right? And how in theory, I think a lot of first world major powers have developed into that because of the immigration that they've accepted into their country. And we can use the lack of and show you the troubles of other same landmass, but troubles like our neighboring parties, Canada right now, not doing so well, are they? But and they've been, over the years, steadily have their immigration, invites, right? Inviting people with a certain skill set and background to the country to inhabit it, to help populate, or
you
but
need
that
a workforce.
but yeah, because you need an influx of talent to come in and help you boost your economy. So again, the Americans, as you say, there's a rule, right? You can't have too much people that come across at one point, and then also what we saw earlier last year, spending so much money on free housing for immigrants and giving them a paycheck on top of that. And we have Americans here struggling to pay the bills.
What we say? When you go too far left, the natural reaction, people are gonna go far right.
Yeah.
Until hopefully we get somewhere in the balance. Because even in America, them were bugging one time. Because the thing is, people, when they do file their taxes, how much money our taxes come out of your thing? And when I see people are struggle on them day-to-day stuff, and America spend, think about it, America spend billions dollars overseas,
Nicholas,
and then you have all of them immigrant people coming here, and as I said, I get it because I'm an immigrant, but also I'm a taxpayer. So when you see, for example, you need help with something because maybe you lose your job or job not pay, and you go for some government benefits, boy, I tell you, I said, they loop around.
God go with me.
And is it I say, which, which I'm saying, they make it so difficult for people who actually pay taxes and live here. But then you imagine somebody come across the border and you give them free housing, you give them debit card for buy food, you pay them light bill,
Nick,
if you don't think people are gonna get frustrated with it,
I can't believe but the America, damn, what we done, 2025? So, damn, boy, 11 years going on 12 now, almost. And I remember, I don't know if you remember it, because Nick came and visited me when in my earlier days in Florida,
Yeah.
And what I tell you, I say, we start off the Keys and, we try to find a way to the main civilization. And remember, those earlier periods, Nicholas, right? And then we look for my taxes at the end of this year, and I said, Jesus have mercy, I just basically earn the salary, like I pay my taxes at the salary I make back then. And I'm like, for the year, and I'm like, bro, you know how much damage I could have do with that? It heart-wrenching. I'm sorry, Chump, you need to do so. What about some of the money?
He make something back in the day where him say he gonna stop collect tax and overtime pay. And I tell the people this, I'm a salary employee, so
I feel
overtime
like
necessary, so the overtime not necessary stick for me.
My God.
But I'm full support of that because I remember back in the day when you used to work overtime and you say, you do your mathematical calculation. When you say Uncle Sam goes and take out some blood.
I should have here right now. See me that cry people. Cry. Oh my God. When you work.
It's crazy.
When you work and you see the tax come out and you say, that was 60 hours of my life.
I tell you. And I want to tell people when I tell people this, like me, when tax time come around, like we in a tax season now for file the taxes, and hopefully you can get back something from Uncle Sam.
It hold
But
them.
the thing, people, one of the worst
Oh my
feeling.
God.
I'm sorry, we kind of out of the weather, but that one that laugh there, take a laugh. Can I tell us there? That right there, sir.
That
Make you want to
wickedest
go
thing.
postal, but
Yeah,
can I
see,
tell
yo,
us,
me I pay
yo,
tax
I
all
pay a
year.
tax, and then go file
Left,
tax,
right,
and
and
you gonna
center, and the
tell me,
money
say,
still say
me
me want
steal
more.
our money. Oh, man, I tell you the worst feeling that.
Oh
But
boy.
my point with that was just saying that I don't get excited about it, because I'm telling you why I'm not get excited about it. And people say, government, no, they might give me back my money. And literally, my money them take, put on the side. And if me can find my taxes and get enough write off and stuff, them can say, all right, Nick, you maybe pay too much. Me slide your thing off your money.
The
Them not
man
give me
them,
back no free money. Now my money them I give me back. So
the man them go say, woman, it's the man them go say, woman is collect your pay. You pay, you collect your pay. See you pay, and the man just give back this. Hold up. Take them
yeah,
two.
thing. Let me slide
Let me
that
get
thing.
them
Yes,
trickle. Let me see. Hold on.
1 year me get back $10, bro.
Yo. Oh God.
Yo, 1
They
year me
could
get
even,
back.
you could even buy the tax processor beer.
Dog. It
That's
cost me way
messed
more
up.
money for file my
For
tax.
file the tax.
Dog.
Yo, that
Me
shit
say man I
crazy.
give back $10. Me say, you
Oh
mean?
man.
I couldn't believe it, dog.
But listen, even like, in my industry, the guys who work in the field and, do this hard, intense labor work and, sometimes put in 50 plus, 60 plus hours. For them, but definitely, hope them really put that into place, because that can bring them family to the next level. That can give those guys a different lifestyle.
I tell you right now, if Trump ever passed that, sorry people, can't call me, no one call me. Full support. Teflon man.
What do you mean?
Because
But it means,
that's
but
the
it means,
actual impact on
but
people's life.
here's a positive on the business, Nick. So you have a business where labor intensive, and your thing was your thing to keep yourself was to get the overtime, but sometimes the taxes eat back
Maths
up the
and the car
overtime,
is
right?
too much. But imagine if that's set.
But if imagine you can have a set of workers, and you say every week you can get at least 10 hours overtime. So the money man look say, hold on, every paycheck may I get 10 to 50. Oh my God, they're not gonna leave retention.
Yeah. No, it can be beneficial to the economy, But I hear him say nothing else about it. Him say it one time and people get excited, but we don't hear nothing about it. So we see
I'm
how
not
that
gonna lie. That one executive action spoke to the working classes of America, and the people who really keep the not the economy, but the working, living, day-to-day operations of our country. The man will fix the road, the man will keep the lights on, all of them things.
Water, everything. Yeah. But yeah, man, so that's my spill on that. We basically must touch upon the immigration stuff. We can wrap that up, but people, we will stay focused on it. We look what the outcome is. But Teflon done start the year off with a bang. Man aggressive with it. And listen, this is what the man say, man do. And the man got most of the vote. Them control the House, them control the Senate. So hey, we see when them control the Supreme Court. So is right now the ball in a for them court for fumble. Them have everything them need for implement. So it's for them to fumble. So we see. When I think when talk about the last thing when talk about officially there is only 2 gender. You saw that?
Oh yes. That is the kickstart.
And me say, yo, if me ever see nobody argue about that, that's the reason.
Yeah,
I understand
if that is the argument, if that is the main argument, then that's why you've lost the election.
Exactly. So listen,
and then hold on, then let me say this behind that statement, because I don't want them come for me. I want to tell you that it's not important, and I get the subliminal message behind it. You're saying that the freedom is being challenged, right? The whole freedom of speech, the freedom to be who you are in America, right? The whole free statement in the amendment is being challenged by that statement, and I understand. But if it is your focus right now, in terms of
The grand scheme of things.
You know, the grand scheme of things, one gender. I mean, listen, sorry, not
Listen,
on the top of my list.
yeah,
Not on the top of
I
my
agree with
list.
that statement. Listen, as I say, me have a little bit of libertarian in me where I feel like, government shouldn't involve in a people freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Me support freedom of speech 100%. If you don't understand, I said this already. Somebody tried to correct me. America is the only country where I've true freedom of speech. It's been played with and been challenged. But what I mean by true freedom of speech, where the government is in the constitution, where the government have to protect your freedom of speech. So technically, the government cannot come and say, Carter, no matter what craziness I say, the government technically can't come and say, yo, Carter, stop say that. Once you're not inside a riot, and that's what the Supreme Court kind of know, right? Once you're not inside a riot, can't shout fire in a crowded area and all of that stuff. Like there's certain limitation because I guess you have to have it in sense, but in general sense, America one of the few countries where you can come and talk all you want about Trump in any bad fashion. Talk all I want about Joe Biden, and technically the government not supposed to come and do anything to you. I mean, I said them don't, but in the constitution you can sue, and the government have to protect. Literally, the government have to protect your freedom of speech, your freedom of expression. In majority of country, Canada, next door neighbor there, even Jamaica, freedom of speech is a privilege. It's like you having a driver's license. Do you need it? It's a privilege to have a driver's license. It's not necessary. You have to get it.
That,
You get what I'm saying?
privilege.
When I say America, the only country where that's why if you think about every YouTuber, every whatever, you have some YouTuber won't follow me like, but them live in a different country, and you rarely, if never, hear them talk about free crap for them government. You know why? Every time they come and say, you live in Canada, you live in Europe, you live in England, all over, you live in Australia, and you come and you criticize America this, America that, America that. Even in Jamaica, you come and you criticize Jamaica this, Jamaica that. I mean, America this, America that. But you really criticize your own country. You know why? Because depending on what you say, you can get in a real trouble for that. You get what I'm saying? So, but
and
America
targeted real quick.
Exactly. So you live so you can then Canada and talk about American politics and American this and Trump is this, Trump that, and knock nampty. Can nobody not gonna come off for you? You get what I'm saying?
Small
but
fry.
if you're in your own country, no, but the thing is, if you're in your own country like Canada and talk crap about your government, and right now Canada and I think even in England, they might arrest people for words. Misgender label. Like if somebody transition and you call, if them was born a man and them transition a woman and say you address them as them birth sex, you can't go to jail for that. You can't get fined for that. You get what I'm saying? So freedom of speech limit in a them place, and people even believe me, look it up. You understand? So me, a strong proponent of freedom of speech, especially somebody who do podcasting and we talk and we enjoy talk. I want talk. I don't know nobody tell me that I can't. You know what I'm saying? So them are the things that me look at. I'm try to be objective. I not if I agree with somebody. But that fact, I love listening to people I disagree with because it shape my viewpoint more better. Because I kind of understand, okay, this is where you come from. This is where I come from. All of them things there. And me I talk a lot, but one thing I just want to say, we come America and like, I talk about this where we look on the Confederate flag, right? And we know the history of what the Confederate flag represent. You know what I mean? That's when, America Civil War, when the South and the North, they fight. One want keep slave, one want free the slave, all of that shebang, blah, blah, blah. And, and it's like, it was surprising that I had somebody I work with. This white guy from Tennessee. And then, and he may show me some, me and him talk, good you. And me and him talk, I might show me some picture, him have a holiday, with a bike, and, blah, blah, blah. And him have a Confederate flag and the bike license. You see me I say? I'm kind of trust back. I'm say, yo, I'm ask him where, me ask him about it. And bro, I want to tell people say America is so different, is ridiculous. Where them learning at school, because when people understand your county, The municipal, them kind of control the board of education. So you have some general stuff where people need to know. But like when you come to our history, every state do them thing different. And this man truly believe that it's a rebel flag. Him have, people down him line who fight in the Confederacy. And them think it was like, states' rights and them, but that's all them learn. And you can say, oh, you can Google stuff and can't find. Listen, people, think about you. A lot of stuff when you say online that is not true, and we think, and then somebody have a correct one, and then you might go back and research for yourself. And just talking to him, and he's not the first person. I met somebody in Georgia like that. And he's like, because they said, I'm fascinated when people say things like, I want to see what people think. You see what I say?
Mm-hmm.
And kill them dead, bro. That's what them learn. That's what them believe. Them not believe nothing else, because, great grandfather from down tell them the story from the family. And guess what? This guy have a whole black grandpitney. Like him family is a mix of family. This man bossy about him granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like him, and it's like, I say, yo, I must look upon it away. I say, yo, that was kind of eye opening for me. Because I say, yo, we hear about it and we know what it's about. And that's why I agree with it. Because I try to tell him, like, you get why. And he must say, no, because, this is how him grew up, this is how him grandpeople them tell him, this is how him people them tell him. And it not nothing to do with the race with him, nothing to do with slave with him. Maybe misinformed. But the point I'm trying to say is that give me a perspective of understanding, people just see things differently. And you have to give cultural credence to things where people just learn things different. God, this man swear by it. And to me, in my interaction, I come work with this guy for years, and he actually did report to me. And I'm like him. I not get nothing from him. We get out for lunch and things. And it's like, it was just perplexed to put it in that sense that I saw him say. So I say all of that to say that is that sometimes we have to give people grace. I understand. So people see things different from us, and them background, how them grow, can kind of influence them life as an adult. So
yeah.
I know that a lot. Me just say people, when me start on that, I can't stop. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Anything else?
No, we can't top it up there.
Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, man. So with that said, you don't want to touch the drone thing. I guess next time we can come back to that. We write about the hour mark, and we are trying to keep it there so people, and then we don't feel too good to some kind of tired as it. But yeah, with that said, Carter, close us out. And the last word?
Well, 2025 started with a bang. From wildfires to Arctic weathers, Nicholas Stefan close it up, but he's the one that's is in New Orleans and experienced record-breaking snow. And of course, we have Pensacola, Florida. I think there were 7 to 8 inches of snow. Destin, Florida, where you visited a couple of years ago. I see people running in the snow and diving in the cold water. So again, 2025.
It was a sight to see with the snow and all of that. You know what I mean? It was, the kids there, my first time, they must see so much snow. Them see snow before, because, we live in a Georgia.
Right.
And we see the snow and thing, but the accumulation.
Right.
That took place up to 12 inches, people. And the golf course. People, and I understand how bizarre that is.
Yes,
New Orleans is not, they have, I think I want to read up on it, them did get snow, maybe last time they get snow was like 16 years ago. Or something like that, but it didn't even stick, it's just like, flurries and we have look at snow. But they must have the last time them have like snow like that, 1865, some long ass time. So it was kind of interesting. The kids them enjoyed, as the man say. So we're supposed to make some move without getting too much in detail. Flight canceled twice because road kind of mess up right now. But I hope Friday we can get for push out and go full joy that movement there. But yeah, man. So
but yeah, so again, 2025 it's banging. It's moving like a whirlwind. We're 22 days in. and so much has happened. So, you know, all I'm going to say is we have to just hold on tight. Not even ride the wave, but even if a wave or fire or what coming, you know what I mean? So, we just have to keep safe, keep warm until we soon again.
Yeah, man. Second that, listen. One thing I say right now, big up on yourself. Appreciate y'all listening to the podcast. Last thing, I guess we need to get habit. Since we're up on YouTube now, people, if you wanna listen to it, appreciate it, I love it. If you get a chance to go up on YouTube, make sure you know, like, subscribe, do the all type of shibang, comment, all of that is it. With that said, big up on yourself. Have a good night. Mad.
Yeah, Jamaican State of Mind.